Salutations!
Welcome to the Film Mages Podcast, where the popcorn is our ammunition, the couch is our foxhole, and the cinema is our place of worship.
Now let me see your war face. Ah!
Wow. I love it when only I can just sit here and just watch. I love watching white men do everything for me.
Right? That's why. Well, hey,
perfect.
I'm excited for you to come back this weekend, so that way you can watch us do things for you, if you know what I mean.
Oh, perfect.
Hello, everyone. We're the Film Majors.
Hi, everybody. I don't know why I said it like that.
It's me. I'm Zach.
It's me. I'm Mick.
Oh, hi. It's Alexis.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Look at us all staying hydrated.
Yeah.
Alexis is gargling down a bottle of water right now. Zach's sipping down some
Heck
water.
yes.
We're all just a bunch of thirsty friends here on the Film Majors. It's hot.
It's toasty hot.
I think it's time to talk about the weather, because we've been recording for 20 seconds and we
I
haven't
agree.
mentioned it once.
I think it's time to talk about what's going on.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, we're getting right into it. We're not wasting any time.
No, let's please not
Much like
waste
the
time.
past two films we've covered, this episode is going to be well-paced.
Yes, it's going to be well paid. It's going to be a
Perfect.
short episode
Sure, maybe.
because I want to turn the AC back on.
Okay, I like that idea.
Where's what Mick over there?
Alexis, what have you been up to? You see any films? You've been doing anything lately?
Oh, yeah. I've been doing a bunch of these. Actually, you know what? I just wanted a side note. So my nephew, who's 8, that like one of the ones that I'm closer with, his
not like those
birthday
other
was on
ones.
the 1st.
Nice.
And I got him a pair of dual lightsabers, which, you know, we've been fucking around with lately. That's been so much fun. I also got him a Ben Nye bruise wheel kit. And like liquid latex and like some like fresh blood and shit. So
Ooh.
yeah, we've been working on some zombie bites and
yeah.
giving him black eyes and stuff. And
With
it
makeup,
is
yeah.
honestly
Yeah,
such
Alexis
a
has not
joy.
been punching her
Yeah, no,
8-year-old nephew.
using makeup to give him black eyes.
Yeah, no, it's been
Good thing.
such a joy to hear him like say in front of his slightly homophobic father, "When are we gonna play with makeup again?" It's great. I love it.
You're
It's
doing
perfect.
the Lord's work.
Hell yeah.
I am doing the Lord's work. Also, never thought I'd hear this come out of my sister's mouth, but she has apparently always wanted to know what she would look like with a black eye, and I was only too happy to show her.
So you did
So-
punch
You
your
just
sister.
completely punched
You
her.
absolutely
You
just
did.
drilled
Yeah,
her in the
I
face.
fucking knocked that bitch to the ground.
Alexis has been waiting her whole life for that moment.
Hell
Wow.
yeah.
That was great.
Well, hey,
yeah.
Alexis, good for you for maybe making a new little makeup artist.
Yeah.
We need more of them.
I literally just threw out a big bag of stage makeup that my dad gave me because I went up to Humboldt, California to pick up some furniture from my father, who
This
just
is
moved.
terribly exciting.
No, it's really good.
Wow.
Anyways, but moral of the story is I was given a bag of stage makeup and I was like, oh, when's this from? And I kind of looked at it and it rushed back to me and I was like, has this been in your possession since I was like 14 years old?
Wow. That's like 5 years
So
ago.
I did not open that up. I threw it away.
Damn.
Oh my god.
I have a sneaking suspicion that decade-old makeup isn't gonna be super good
It
to
loses
put
the
on
flavor.
somebody.
Yeah. It's not as good.
Loses what, sorry?
It loses its
What have you been eating?
rigor, is what I said.
Okay, well, I wouldn't say that either.
Yeah.
Alexis, have you seen any movies?
I honestly don't even know. I think I may have only seen one. When's the last time we talked? Was it after I got back from the lake?
Yes, we talked on July
5th.
July 5th.
Yeah.
July 5th. Okay. Am I remembering this correctly? You
Yes.
guys go ahead. I have to recollect myself.
Nick?
So as Alexis recollects herself, and I'm so glad you asked, I actually watched No Hard Feelings.
Hey!
Yes,
What you think,
folks.
buddy?
That's right. It was fun. It was a good one. For those of you who don't know, No Hard Feelings is the new Jennifer Lawrence comedy that has hit theaters. And it's lovely. It's a good time. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
You don't get movies like this that much anymore. I mean, you don't really get comedies that
At all.
often. That often. You get a few.
I really want to go see Joyride.
Yeah, I
know
want
that
to
just
as
came
well.
out.
I heard good things about it. I have a script supervisor friend who just watched it and said it's funny. She said
That's
it also.
what I'm looking for.
It drove her up the walls. There are apparently like 20 random hair and costume changes for no reason, other than to just show how beautiful these people are, and it was driving her nuts. But she was like, other than that, it's good. But anyways, this is not her review of Joyride, which is a film that I have not seen.
It's your review.
It's my review of a movie I have seen.
I love that.
I think I kind of related to it a little bit more because I am also...
Dating a 19-year-old?
Yes, I didn't want to say that on air, but that's true. And his last name's also Feldman. I come from a beach town that is a kind of a holiday getaway. So during the summer, we would always kind of like lament that, oh God, all the out of townies are going to be coming over, which is ironic because they single-handedly carried our economy. So it's interesting that we resent them. But that was just something that was part of this film that was interesting, I suppose. Doesn't sound interesting when I explain it. That sounded really... No, I'm really not
you're
selling
not
this
selling
film.
this like raunchy R-rated comedy where...
I was about to say, this sounds like
am I making
not
this
something
exciting?
that I care about.
Yeah,
Okay, well, hold on.
Where's
Let me
Jennifer
finish.
Lawrence? Tell me about the hot bitch.
Let me finish. Did I mention that the MacGuffin is a 2003 Buick Regal? Am I not selling this film? Because I'm not lying. The fact that
I don't even know what you just said.
The goal of our main character is to get a 2003 Buick Regal, which is so funny.
Real piece of shit car.
It's a piece of shit car. It's funny.
A car.
She is this. Yeah, it's a Buick.
Alexis, she takes an uppercut right to the puss.
She does take an uppercut to the puss.
Yeah.
There's a
Didn't
fully
you
nude
mention that last
beach
time?
brawl.
Well, I
And
think that's a solid selling point of this film.
I have
hilarious.
personally been punched in the vagina.
Were you naked at the
So-
time?
Are you Jennifer Lawrence?
No, I was not naked at the time. I was in high school, and this girl fucking came up to me and fucking punched me in the vagina, and that shit fucking hurt. Okay,
I'm sure it
there's
would.
like a bone. There's like a bone right there. That shit fucking. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. You know, you guys don't have pusses, but you know, like y'all got something else working down there that also shouldn't be hit. I guess.
I have a quick
I got
question.
sack tapped by a dog this weekend, and it fucking hurt.
Really?
Yeah, my dad's dog was like really excited to see me, and he jumped up and he just fucking came down
Whacked you.
hard on one of my nuts with his paws.
That happened to me the other day,
Wow.
but it was just me that did it. I just sat down really fast.
Oh,
you ever have that happen?
Yes.
Yeah. So Alexis, I don't know if this is a thing where if a man,
I love talking films.
yeah, if a man sits down too fast on like a hard surface, like a plastic chair, sometimes you get the clap, not like the disease, but like the ball clap where it like smacks against the stuff and it really hurts. It's not fun.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
It doesn't
feel good.
Yeah, I would say 0 out of 10, but that's my question. Lately, I've been hearing people go like, "Oh, like that movie sucks. Like 10 out of 10 would not go." I'm like, that's a 0 out of 10.
Yeah, that's an 0 out of 10. Who's saying that?
Well, Alexis just said 10 out of 10 would not recommend, but that's
0 out of 10 would not
That's a
recommend.
0 out of 10 would not
Alexis,
recommend,
are
right?
you not recommending something that's a 10 out of 10?
No, that's a phrase all over. That's been on the internet for like a while. Is 10 out of 10 would not recommend because it rhymes.
I don't know about that.
0 out of 10 would not recommend also rhymes like as much.
No, but it's not that you're. See, here's the thing. And you know what? Oh, I had something. You know the fucking term bootleg that you guys were ragging on my sister for using? I was at the lake house with somebody that she went to high school with, okay? And this guy, he's kind of like a foo, you know? Like, he's like old school, kind of like Mexican guy.
Okay.
And he literally used that term. And I was like, bootleg. Oh, I'm sorry. Where does that come from? And he was like, oh, that we used to say that all the fucking time in high school. And I was like, oh, so it is. It's legitimately fucking slang.
So people
fuck
all
y'all.
over Fresno are
fucking
talking
Oregon
wrong.
boys.
People
Welcome
in
to fucking
Fresno are
Fresno.
talking wrong.
Yeah, so it's a deep-rooted regional generational issue.
A generational flaw.
It's a flaw, yes.
I think it's like a late 90s, early 2000s thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, it's fun.
so-
we all learned
so,
something.
yeah. Yeah.
Nick, no
Yeah,
hard feelings.
no-
You liked it?
No hard feelings. I did. It was a lot of. It's a great date night movie. It's really cute. It's really heartwarming. There's some genuine emotion in it. That scene with Jennifer Lawrence at the beach, not that one, the other one, where the camera's behind her and she like sheds a tear. That was pretty impactful. I love my boy Matthew Broderick. This chilling and killing.
Yeah, killing someone with his car
Killing
in
someone with
Ireland.
his car.
Hair.
I bet you that
I've-
Buick Regal was what he hit that person with, and that's why he's trying to
my
pawn it
God.
off. Like, yeah, I'll sign the title over to you. Just have sex with my son.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good film. I enjoy it.
So I saw 2 new releases. One was also a date night, and one I went to with my dad. Which one would you like to hear about first?
Sounds like they're both date night films. You want
No.
a date with your dad? You can have dad dates.
I don't want to call it a dad date. I don't enjoy that.
Hold on. What was it?
I went and saw Indiana Jones,
That
The
is
Dial of Destiny.
100% a dad date.
Well, if it was, it went poorly for both of us because that movie is not good.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No.
Oh, no.
We were, it made me really long for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, see, it didn't bring me to that.
I think that's a, leaps and bounds better made movie. I
Oh, it
thought this
is.
movie looked ugly as shit.
Yeah, the action is not shot
It's completely
super well.
The first scene on the train, I was like, if Steven Spielberg were dead, he'd be rolling in his grave. It's like so murky and underlit, and fucking Indiana Jones looks like a fucking video game character.
So, do you know what I mean? That wide shot where he's jumping from
Yeah,
car to
that's
car.
crazy.
I told you
that
the
looks
physics
insane.
were bad.
The other shot that killed me in that opening is when Toby Jones accidentally shoots him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going like, shoot him.
Yeah.
And then he goes, not me. And if young Harrison Ford were actually delivering that line, it
Yeah.
would have gotten a laugh out of me.
Right.
But his eyes are completely dead.
You know, the part...
they're black and soulless.
That kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but actually, I didn't mention this in my review. Something that really kind of irked me was that same sequence when I think it's one of the Nazis grabs Indiana Jones and presses him up against the ceiling of the tunnel they're going through.
Oh, yeah,
And
that was crazy.
His
He's
back,
dead. He's dead.
Yeah, his back is like grinding against the roof of this brick tunnel they're going through. And I'm like, yo, how did we get from this? How did we get from the original Indiana Jones where, he's bleeding and he's barely hanging on to this where you can just stick him up against the ceiling of a tunnel while a train is going 80 miles an hour and he's okay.
Yeah, none of the action sequences feel like remotely tactile. There are exactly 2 things that work throughout the movie.
Okay.
One is John Williams' score,
Yes.
and the other is Harrison Ford.
What about Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
Dreadful. I
Boo.
thought she was dreadful.
Bad take.
And I don't think it's her fault. I think there's nothing
a
on the
bad
fucking
take.
page for her. It's not.
No,
It's-
I would agree that she doesn't have a lot to work with, but she, again, there
none
were
of
moments...
none of her jokes land.
Really?
I felt like she wasn't given any interesting action beats, and she didn't really sell them when she was given action beats. I overall felt like that was a role
What
that
did you think of Mads Mikkelsen?
I mean, he was doing his thing.
He's great, man.
I think that again, I would have maybe liked a little more from him, but I thought he was given more than Phoebe Waller-Bridge was, who I just thought was kind of a wet fart. To be
That's
honest,
interesting. So you're saying that Phoebe Waller-Bridge was a shart?
a little, yeah. She was a bit of a shart. In
She's
the
a
film.
shart.
She was a bit of a shart. In
Alexis,
the
are you
film.
hearing this?
I'm just trying to mentally block that out because I don't believe it for 1 second.
Yeah,
that woman
don't
is not
believe it.
capable of being a
Yeah,
shirt.
don't believe it.
You know
'Cause here's
the
thing.
one
There was a
thing-
moment where I was like, I would actually just watch an action adventure with Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yeah, no, you said that, and I believed it going in because
Yeah.
I like Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I think she's a talented,
No.
charismatic actor. I think she was completely wrong for this movie.
Really?
I don't think it played to any of her strengths, and I really just thought she was completely miscast.
James Mangold, if you're listening, you really fucked up.
James Mangold, I do feel like you fucked up, and I
fucked
like
up big.
James Mangold as a director too. It's just the magic wasn't there. The ending almost worked for me.
So, okay, I'm glad you brought that up.
The
because
ending I kind of fucked with.
do you know what I mean?
Yes, I
when
do.
When I read, I can't tell if it kind of shit the bed, but it's also it kind of works.
It's the only thing in the movie that I felt like was a swing.
Yes.
And I
Yes,
respected
yes.
it for that, and I felt like it led to a nice moment for Harrison Ford as Indy.
Yes.
That was almost immediately undercut by him not having any agency in making a pivotal decision in the third
See,
act.
I like that. 'Cause I thought him going out that way was way too cliche.
I wouldn't have minded if he had ended up where he did,
Yeah.
but it felt like
It wasn't his choice.
Yeah, it felt like the movie was running out of time, and suddenly all of his problems were solved.
Right. It is a little counterintuitive because the whole film is kind of like, oh, people can do what they want. And then at the very end, it's like, all right,
except
we're going to put you in a home after saving the day.
Overall, I didn't think it was very good.
Your dad didn't like it either.
My dad didn't like it either. He was bored.
Oh.
I was bored.
So it was a bad dad date.
Yeah.
Sucks.
You know what?
Where'd you see it?
The Minor Theater.
You saw it at the Minor.
Yeah,
You and your dad.
I was in a good
in the Minor.
I was in a good setting to enjoy that movie.
You're with your dad.
You're gonna stop.
You're
stop
in the
going,
Minor?
Stop going where you're going.
The Minor is a theater, folks.
I just said that.
Did you
said
say
the
that?
Minor Theater.
Well, in case they forgot it, like I did. Just
No,
now.
you didn't.
Well, I didn't hear it.
You're a bad guy. But I went
All
on.
you want to hear is about the Minor, Mick. And I think that might just be like a Freudian slip in your own brain or something.
Freudian slip. Oh, come with me to the laboratory, young man. I'll give you strudel.
He doesn't. He has no hard feelings about that.
No hard feelings at all.
But the other film that I saw on an actual date was Past Lives,
Oh,
which I am absolutely with both of you.
Yes.
That's a fucking wonderful movie.
Great movie.
One of the best of the year so far. Celine Song, I believe, is the director.
Yes.
That's a hell of a fucking debut.
great. Debut.
Really just
Yeah.
like super confident, wonderful relationships. I loved like the sort of contrast between more like fluid camera work where the backgrounds kind of become out of focus in some of like the memory sequences, and then like the like really harsh angles and lines of the city in the present day. I thought that was all really great.
Nice.
So yeah, big fan, big recommend. Go see Past Lives.
Yeah, seriously.
And, you know, I'd skip Indiana Jones.
It's number 2 for me, man.
Yeah, I think it's number 3.
What's your number 2?
Number 2 and 3 are kind of a crapshoot for me.
What's your number 2?
Asteroid City.
Oh, okay. I think I like
We have
Past
the
Lives
same
more
number
than-
one.
Oh, we know. Yeah, we both have the same. The whole world
John
has the
Wick
same number 1.
4.
Mr. Wick.
John Wick Chapter 4.
But you know what? That might be changing this week, Alexis.
Tomorrow,
that
it'll
very
probably
well
change.
might be changing. By the time you're
what's-
listening to this episode, that might be different. Because you know what Mick and I have been watching and will be watching tomorrow?
Dun, 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 dun.
I am so glad we were doing that at completely different tempos at the same
That's
time.
going to be fun editing.
Ooh, yeah.
That's going to be great.
Definitely won't use that as my sync point.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Mick and I have also watched Mission Impossible Fallout, and we will be watching Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning tomorrow. So
Yeah,
before we
part
go
one.
in, Mick, what are your thoughts on Mission Impossible Fallout?
Hard to beat.
That is my favorite right now.
That is hard to beat. It's so good. It is so entertaining. It wastes no time. Henry Cavill is so good.
It's maybe his best performance.
I would agree.
It's either that or Man from U.N.C.L.E. for
He's
me.
really good at Man from U.N.C.L.E., but I gotta lean towards Fallout. He's just great at playing a goon.
And a bastard.
He's a bastard
And
goon.
a bruiser.
A bastard gooner bruise.
Yeah.
Something
sure.
like that.
Sure, man. I like it.
I think the Vyvanse just kicked in. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no. Mission Impossible Fallout is fantastic. I don't want to go too into Alec Baldwin because we talked about that on the last episode, but he's so fucking good in this movie too.
Yeah.
It's so great.
He's not quite as significant in the film, I don't think, as he
Right.
is in 5.
Yeah.
I feel like in 5 he's almost kind of a like secondary antagonist.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's very good in that movie. But I mean, Fallout has, for my money, easily the best finale of the series.
Yes.
Basically, once you get from
it's fucking nuts.
Cruise running across the rooftops in London.
In London. One of the best foot chases.
Oh my god.
ever.
I mean, we haven't really talked about how no one has ever run on camera
Right.
as well as Tom fucking Cruise.
Yeah.
Like it's just bananas.
It is crazy. But yeah, no,
But
that
from there to the helicopter sequence,
yes.
good lord. Like
Yeah, in the mountains of Kashmir.
just dazzling stuff.
Fucking incredible. And it's worth stating again that is Tom Cruise piloting that actual helicopter.
That is Tom Cruise hanging off of and falling off of
a helicopter.
an actual helicopter.
It's absolutely insane.
It's like the man wants to die in a movie.
I remember watching
he craves
that.
it, and that's why he's the president of cinema.
I watched that in theaters, and I remember just kind of the general sense in the audience of as the ending is unfolding, is it just kind of everyone's like, oh my god, it just keeps going. Not like it won't end. It just this awesome sequence just somehow keeps getting more
topping itself,
intense and crazy, and it's just it's fucking great. It's like watching a Jackie Chan film.
If not for one 2010s action movie, Fallout would probably be my favorite blockbuster of the 2010s.
Yeah, it's neck and neck. Those two films.
So, Mick, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What are your Mission Impossible rankings going into Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1?
So I'm going to start at the bottom.
Okay.
That's going to be Mission Impossible 3. Then we're going to go to Mission Impossible 2. Then we're going to go to Mission Impossible 1. Then... See, this is where it gets tough. I think... Oh, God. See, that's what I was talking about. You heard that, right?
Yeah, I did.
And then I'm going to go with my number 4.
You mean your number 3?
Is it number 3?
Yeah.
Third highest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, third highest, because Mission Impossible 1 is your number 4. Come on, buddy.
Ghost Protocol.
Okay.
Then Rogue Nation. And I think my favorite is Fallout. I think. It's the one I rewatched the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a very similar list.
Yeah.
Coming in last, Mission Impossible 3, which...
Right.
We're getting close to the movie, and I understand people online are excited and want to come in with some contrarian hot takes on Mission Impossible. I've been seeing a lot of Mission Impossible 3 revisionism where people are like, this is actually a more exciting movie than Ghost Protocol. This is actually one of the best of the series. You're wrong.
Horseshit.
You're wrong. You don't. Sometimes we don't need to have a hot take.
That is
sometimes the hot take, it's the wrong take.
Yeah.
That's the only boring movie in the series.
Yeah. Well,
it's the only one.
The first half of 2.
2 has boring moments, but I would not call it a boring movie. The first half is a bit dull. 3 is a boring movie start to finish.
Yes.
Mission Impossible 2 is my number 5. Mission Impossible 1 is my number 4.
Yeah.
My top 3 have and continue to change up a lot.
Yeah.
But where we're sitting at right now, the day before we go and see Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Oh, I get chills thinking about that.
Coming in
It's
at number 3
happening.
is Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
Oh, okay.
Coming in at number 2
Protocol.
is Ghost Protocol. And in agreement on number 1, Mission Impossible Fallout. Guys, watch this series if you haven't.
Yeah.
You will have a fucking blast. Alexis, check out Ghost Protocol. I know that you own it now. I know that you spent $2 to have that in your collection.
Well done. Money well spent.
I did. It was honestly, it was real neck and neck because there was a lot of good movies in the running for that $2 spot, because I was like, you can only buy like 10 of these right now, Alexis.
Well, I appreciate you, valuing your friends' opinions and your friends' advice.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I'm
trying my best. I keep bringing this over to my sister's house to be like, let's watch this movie, Natalie, and it's always like we just end up doing something else instead of watching it.
You might have to just do it yourself. Or watch it with...
I know. That's literally like what I have to do this week.
Why don't you watch it with Noah? I bet he'd like it.
Yeah, actually, if there's a teen boy in your life,
right,
show it to him.
Exactly. Show the movie to him.
Nobody really watches movies at my mom's house, and I have the DVD player here. And some people just don't have their DVDs players or their Blu-ray players hooked up to their TVs at all times. My sister does not. I bought her a Blu-ray player. She does not have it hooked up at all times.
That's
and so I'm
so
like,
bootlegger.
how can I come over and just throw a movie on DVD or Blu-ray when it's not already hooked up? There's a whole other step that I got to do, which means I'm probably not going to do it.
Hey, Alexis.
Huh?
You know what I brought down from Humboldt County to
Did you bring the
our
VHS
apartment?
player?
I sure fucking did.
Fuck yeah.
And a whole box of VHS
A whole
tapes.
box of VHS.
Fuck yeah. You know
I've
what
heard-
atrocity I'm going to bring down? Gay Paris. With Judy Garland voicing like this fucking Parisian cat. Oh my god, it's gonna be great. It's like an animated movie from the 1960s. It's awful. It's misogynistic. It's ooh la la.
I hate when she says it's misogynistic, is I'm actually like,
Yeah,
I actually might
now
watch
you
that.
want to hear Judy Garland
Yeah.
be misogynistic.
Yeah, you want to see her like chase through the streets like she's about to get raped by other cats? Sounds
oh my
great.
God.
I love this.
Fuck. I don't know that I actually want to
Is
see
that actually going to be
anymore.
the first VHS we watch? I don't want it to
That
be.
seems like a solid option.
I don't want it to be, man.
I'm just
Don't
excited.
worry, I
to-
have other VHSs. I'm sure you do too.
I'm
so-
excited to hook up a VHS player to mix like
State of the
4K
art.
state of the art television.
I don't know how that's gonna fucking look. It's gonna be
It's going to be weird.
It's gonna
big
be
screen
fucking
with
nuts.
very questionable quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be like, God, look how sharp those pixels are. Fucking.
I bet
Hell.
you we can count the pixels in the screen with
We'll
how
make it a
big this
drinking
TV
game.
is.
Yeah.
We're all going to get alcohol poisoning this weekend, folks.
Oh, my God.
That's going to happen.
So one other film that I watched in between sessions was a horror film from the 1980s called The Deadly Spawn.
Yeah.
I watched it with Mick.
It was fun.
I really enjoyed it. It's
Yeah.
it cost, I believe, $25,000 to make, so like nothing. It's a monster movie that takes place basically entirely inside of two houses. The acting is all very questionable. The filmmaking at points is quite amateurish. But goddamn, that is a movie with ambition and some really solid creature effects.
Genuinely.
Like,
solid,
genuinely
yeah.
pretty fucking
As I
good,
said,
well-realized monsters.
What's it called in Killer Spawn?
The Deadly Spawn.
The Deadly Spawn is a lot like
Streaming on Shudder.
Tremors and Slither mixed together.
Yeah. Yeah, so
If you've seen those films.
If you like a goofy creature feature
Yeah.
with some, like, also pretty impressive gore effects.
Yeah. And some awful acting.
The
Kid. Oh my God.
That poor child.
All right, we're rolling action. Okay, now look over there. Look over there. You're scared. All right. Okay, fine. Now look over there. That's an alien. All right. Okay. All right. Cut. Yeah. Fine. Let's move on. Dude, our gear's falling apart, man.
Yeah.
Are you hearing that, Alexis? When I touched that,
I think I heard a little thrum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting a lot of tone when Mick touches his mic.
no, it's not. It happens, and I touch it, and then it goes away.
No, every time you bump it, we get tone. Well, not when
Well,
you do it
every
like that.
time
You
you
bump it
move
from
the
bottom.
table, you bump the thing. So
Yeah, just keep your motions
okay,
to a minimum.
maybe stop. Maybe don't.
Anyways, so yeah, if you like a silly creature feature, check out The Deadly Spawn.
The Deadly Spawn.
Deadly Spawn.
I watched
Deadly Spawn.
Chris Hemsworth's newest movie,
Extraction.
Extraction 2. It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Yeah, if you like action movies, check it out. I would put it up there with like John Wick. It's not as good, but it's a lot of really well choreographed action in camera. Real helicopters landing on real trains.
You love a real helicopter.
I love a
That's
real.
one of your favorite things.
It's so true. And I also love a good train sequence. Which, by the way, having
wait.
watched
I can't wait.
Extraction,
I can't wait.
What I was going to say is having watched Extraction 2 after Indiana Jones. Oh boy.
You're going upwards in your quality of train sequences.
I can't wait for it tomorrow.
Yeah, you
but,
can't wait for tomorrow.
No, Extraction 2.
What if we come back next week and we're disappointed?
We won't be.
I know, but like, what if
I
that
don't know.
happens?
It's been
It
getting
won't
some
be.
crazy reviews online. So
Yeah, I'm sure we probably won't be, but like,
No, it's
if
impossible.
I don't like the new Mission Impossible movie,
Yeah.
I might kill myself.
It's not going to happen, Zach. Don't
you
worry.
might unalive something.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Okay, good.
It's getting 99% of Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wild to me.
Let's fucking think about that for a
It
second.
makes sense.
People are saying it is the film event of the summer. with a summer that has Barbenheimer in it.
And no hard feelings.
And no hard feelings. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Extraction 2, it's a lot of fun. If you like action films, you should check it out. Seeing Chris Hemsworth rip a guy's hand in half is crazy.
That, you know?
And it's very intense.
You've got me interested in trying to rewatch Extraction 1 because I tried to watch it in 2020 and I was not impressed.
Yeah, I will say that because there's definitely an Extraction 3 that they're going to make because they set it up. Please, I want the Russo brothers involved only as producers, as
and
executive
only in
producers,
that.
and with their deep pockets because they wrote Extraction 2 and not great.
Not a great script.
Yeah, they need Sam Hargrave, who's the director, former Captain America stunt double turned director.
Oh.
He needs to be paired with a good script because if he is, he'll be fucking unstoppable because he knows how to get shit visually perfectly. It's just, it's all the emotion that's like, I don't really give a shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's good stuff.
Excellent.
Oh, Alexis, have you seen anything else? Because I'm going to mention one more thing.
Well, I haven't talked at all, so
Well, go for it.
he says have you
Let's
seen
roll out the red
anything
carpet.
else?
Alexis, what have you seen?
Well, to be honest, I was racking my brain. I was like, have I really seen nothing? It's because I caught up on like 12 episodes of fucking Girls. But I did watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind because my sister had apparently never seen this movie before, and that just kind of like blew my fucking mind. Then we had like this argument about Kirsten Dunst because my nephew doesn't like Kirsten Dunst, and we had to bring up this 2001 movie that me and my sister used to watch all the time called Crazy Beautiful that has Kirsten Dunst in it, because we were talking about how it's kind of that movie's sandwiched between this other movie that we're going to be talking about later, because he was saying that he's never liked her because of that movie, and we were like, oh, but Crazy Beautiful, that's a good fucking movie.
Yes,
anyways,
but
Eternal Sunshine of the
I can't believe he's saying this about my first on-screen crush.
Was it Kirsten
Oh,
Dunst?
really?
Probably.
Well, you know, I don't.
Wow.
I wonder if he really did always feel that way, because we'll talk about it later. But anyways, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is one of my like top 20 like movies, like since I first saw it when I was in grade school. And I can see why my sister has never seen it, because it's got that kind of like science fiction-y kind of aspect to it. But yeah, that movie like still never fails to like make me tear up just at like random parts, because I think I just love stories about like disintegration of relationships. Like I also love this musical movie called The Last 5 Years, and it's kind of the exact same kind of like premise where you're kind of like working backwards and forwards to come to terms with like how a relationship begins and ends and who assigns blame and all these different things. And honestly, really, really great lines all throughout the movie. So, and Kate Winslet, I never see her in parts quite like Clementine in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And it's like another one where it's like, oh, Jim Carrey actually gets to be kind of serious in this movie. So it's bringing a lot. Elijah Wood's a like weird little creep in the movie, you know?
Yes.
Love it.
That is a good description of him in that film.
It's one of my favorite modes of Elijah Wood.
Yeah, he's all I just fell in love with her, and Mark Ruffalo's character was like, that's so fucking twisted. She was fucking unconscious, dude.
I remember when I first saw that film. I think it was Alexis. You showed that to me. I'm pretty sure.
Did I?
I'm pretty sure. And
Makes
I don't
sense.
think I
It's
saw it
really in
until
the
college
zeitgeist
either.
of my films.
yeah, again, that says a lot about you. That being your top 20. But
Means you're fucked up.
it's not what I was. I mean,
Means you're fucking twisted.
you're not wrong.
It means I'm a sad boy inside.
You're a sad boy.
Yeah.
You are a sad boy. I was alluding to the fact that you have a sophisticated taste and you like dense text, and that is a dense
Definitely,
text film.
Yeah.
But no idea where I was going with it. Oh no, that's right. When I first saw it, that whole scene where they're like passed out doing their whole stuff because this tech company comes over I was like, yo, this whole thing is fucking jacked. This is bad.
Yeah.
This is completely immoral, not ethical. I was like beside myself with like, how is this scientific practice?
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Yo,
which
they're
kind
like
of makes
they're
it more
drinking
entertaining.
his whiskey and like getting
Yeah.
naked and dancing
Yeah.
on his bed
Yes.
while he's passed out
Yes.
and getting his girlfriend erased from his brain.
I know.
Completely unethical, completely
like-
fucked up.
The first time I was like, that, no. You could get naked,
Yeah,
but just don't drink my whiskey.
absolutely. You guys are sewer people. You guys are sewer people. Fired.
Pretty twisted. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
We should
All right,
probably.
well, hop out of what's going on.
No. I have
we're
one more
running
thing.
out of time on
No?
our call.
One more
Oh
thing.
my God.
One more thing. I saw Robert Downey Jr.'s new car show, Downey's Dream Cars, on HBO, and I watched all 6 episodes in succession. And I gotta say, it is pretty fun. It's pretty fun. It is a car show that is based. It's an environmental vegan show.
We are
described
running
as a
out
car
of time.
show.
We're running out of time. We're
You're
getting
watching
it.
Watch it on HBO Max.
If he gets to say that because you guys talked this whole time,
Yes, do it.
I get to
We're
say
out of time.
Do it.
I get to say that Robert Downey Jr. said that the fucking world should be a matriarchy and run by women, and he said that he's always stood by that he's always thought that, and I love him forever because of that. So yay!
I second that completely. I love Robert Downey Jr. I love you so much.
All right, let's get out of what's
Yeah.
going on. And we are back.
Yes, we
Oh,
are.
boy.
It's been a while. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, did you enjoy your little break? I didn't.
No, you did not.
No.
You're now out. You are $10
I'm
poorer.
$10 poorer than I was at the start of our fucking break.
Yes.
Because Zoom did some new shit where I can't fucking start a new call without
you know what?
waiting
We should milk-
9 minutes.
Let's milk the film agents for a
Zoom.
little bit more money.
Yeah, no, if anyone wants to send Zach Harris money, my Venmo is ZJ Harris. You can hit me up.
Yeah.
Stop touching it.
I'm adjusting it.
No.
Also, my mic needs adjusting.
Armel, do you pay for Zoom?
Now I
He
am.
does now.
Yeah, I didn't before.
Oh, well, Armel, slide them my Venmo because I've been paying for Adobe Audition since we started this
Yeah,
podcast.
that's true. You know
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, everyone, we want money.
It's like
Yes.
$22 a month.
Send
Yeah.
us your funds.
Oh, that's cheaper than I was paying for it.
Why are we having people send money to the writers? They're fine. Think about it. Have you heard the money that they made before? It's not enough for them.
It's not
But it's
enough.
more than we're making. God damn it. And we need to buy a new XLR cable.
Yeah.
Probably
Our
two.
gear's falling
because you're
apart.
coming back, right, this weekend?
Yeah.
So we need a new one because we have 2 XLR cables that are crap, and now this one's dying. It's all fucked. No, really. I hate all of this.
Well, we didn't originally buy those XLR
That is true. They were
cables,
free,
though,
which is
so.
pretty nice.
But,
were gifts.
But it's still, that's money out of our pockets that we can't afford.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. I don't even know if I want to continue this.
Oh, okay.
It's awful.
You gonna leave? You gonna quit right now?
No, I'm just gonna stay here. I'll listen. I'll chime in if I think
Yeah,
I need to.
So you're not- you're not quitting.
I can probably just buy the XLR cables because I've been working this whole time. So
Wait a minute.
Big money.
Oh, Mrs. Deep Pocket over here. Hey,
well,
3 minutes of money time.
I did not work for like 6 months between last year and this year. So
Why do you cackle when she says she
technically
hasn't worked
worked
for 6
longer than
months?
I did. Mick, I feel like you never stopped working over like the winter really and spring. So.
I was pretty busy during the spring. Winter was a little slow for me.
Hey guys, do we want to talk about our big topic?
Not really.
No.
I'm kind of enjoying this casual small talk.
All right. Well, I've
Because
got
the listen, I've had people tell me that when they come into the show, there's like it's like hanging out with the 3 of you. It's like you guys are. It's like I'm just like a member of like the friend group.
Oh.
There's one person
the crew?
specifically that said that, and I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But
It's someone you don't like.
yeah, no,
You're
no,
like,
I
"Let me
don't. I don't
let me
talk to
tell
him
you-
anymore.
Let me tell you, if I knew you,
Yeah, no, for real.
you're not actually
So
part of
that's.
the friend
I'm just like I'm giving people a little. I think this casual conversation.
Is it who
just
I think
giving
it
them-
was?
Who? Just say it. We can cut it out. Who? No, he doesn't listen to the show.
I figured not, but you said you didn't like
My
it.
guy?
Yeah.
No.
Definitely cut that out of the show.
No, I gotta leave that. Now it's gotta stay. That's the rule of the film age. As soon as you say we cut that out, it has to stay in. It's
You
the
just
rule.
beep his name then.
Keep it in and double it.
Yes, yes.
So, guys, I've got
Wait,
a
we'll
big
bleep his
topic.
name and then we'll bleep the. So it'll be, oh, is it bleep? I'll be, oh, my bleep guy. Then that'll be funny,
Yeah,
right?
and then we'll have to bleep you saying
Yes,
that.
but bleep my bleeps, right? That'd
Oh
be
my
funny.
God.
This is going to be so
Zach,
unpleasant.
please tell me
This is going to be
what is our
this
big
is going to be
topic
so
for the week?
unpleasant for our audience to listen back to
Why?
and hear the bleeps and then hear us talk about, oh, you know what we need to do. Just what a terrible listening experience for you.
Do you remember that time
It's
we
great.
talked about putting the horns in?
Yeah,
for
in our
what's going on,
Barbarian
and then I
episode.
did it.
Wait, what was this?
Oh my
No,
God.
there was a whole
Oh,
other
yeah.
episode where we brought it up, and then I was like, that would be funny. So then I just started putting them in. When we said.
Hey, if
That
you're a
was
new
great.
listener, I'm really sorry.
One of my favorites.
Don't apologize.
Yeah, never apologize for
okay?
being right.
I have
It's
ADHD,
uncouth and lower
so
class.
I cannot be tamed.
I have a
alright?
big topic.
Wait, hold on.
Do we
hold
have a
on.
big topic?
Wait, do we even have a topic? What month is this?
Well, Mick,
I think this might be
Blockbuster
Month. Cue the music.
the music, it's explosions, and it's happened.
Cut the music.
Okay, so
We have music for this?
we've got
Well,
explosions.
someone doesn't listen to the episodes.
shit.
And Alexis,
Well,
frankly,
there's only
I
so
don't
much of
blame
you
you.
guys I can take a week.
I don't blame you because I
How do
was
you guys
listening.
think I feel? I edit this. Do you
I
know
was-
how much I hear of you two?
Are you serious? You walk to the
Okay,
gym
I'm
listening
just
to
not living
our
there
show.
right
How
now. I
narcissistic
used to
can
share
you
the
get?
editing process with you, and I could have killed you guys listening to you, so I understand.
Yeah. Again, it just feels narcissistic to listen to our own show.
Well,
Don't you think?
no,
Really?
no.
This feels weird.
It's called quality control, buddy.
Well, not you, because
Yeah.
you have to edit it, but you also listen to it in your free time.
Well, I have to listen to it a couple of times to hear it on different devices to make sure it plays.
I think we should pay someone to do this. Like, we should hire somebody.
Well, again, this comes back
Alexis,
to the whole issue
didn't
of
you
us
do
not.
this? Like, didn't you actually, edit, someone's podcast before as, a job?
Yeah, I did edit someone's podcast.
So then why
for
don't
a
we
few
pay
months.
Alexis to do this?
Hey guys, I've got a big topic.
What's the big topic?
Sure, go for it.
Our big topic today
I'm so sweaty.
is actors who have just devoured the scenery. Performances where actors are just munching the scenery down, eating it for breakfast,
Like a
lunch, and dinner,
smorgasbord.
leaving no crumbs.
It's like a sizzler.
Yeah. So, what are some of your favorites? What are some of your favorite performances where actors are just really fucking going for it?
This show that we're on,
Is bad.
it's great. We're all chewing the scenery, man. We're chewing the fat.
I'm chewing something.
We're spitting the seeds.
Ugh.
Great.
I think I would like to roll it back to our very first episode,
Whoa.
The Gentleman.
You're taking it all the way back to the gentleman?
I'm taking it back to The
But
Gentleman.
back before that's back before we had XLR cables
Are
that
you
didn't
talking
Mm.
work.
about our spicy Mungo Man?
Yes. I'm talking about Spicy
tasty.
Mungo Man himself. Hugh Grant in The Gentleman as fucking Fletcher. Chews the fucking scenery. Every time he's on screen, it's fantastic. He makes that movie. Well, does he make that movie? He makes a lot of it.
He makes a lot of
He
it.
makes a lot of it.
Yeah.
And the movie is framed from his perspective.
Yes.
So he gets a lot of
But
opportunity
I would
to chew the
argue,
scenery.
like the movie that we're going to talk about, that film has two performances that just steal the scenery, and the other one would be Colin Firth
Yeah. As coach.
as the coach.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. We
Although I
went
don't know that that's that big a performance.
no, but he
It's a very
steals
good
the
performance.
No, but every time
he steals the scene, but he's not chewing the scenery.
I think he's chewing the scenery.
No, I think if to be chewing
Wait,
the
so
scenery,
then-
you need to be big. You need to be giving a big fucking performance.
you mean it's like you need to be. It's not
You need,
subtle.
you need to both be
So then-
giving a big performance and be relishing in it.
I like relish.
So then Daniel Craig in Knives Out doesn't count because it's not that big of a performance?
That's a big performance.
no, that counts.
Is
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Okay.
He's like talking like Foghorn Leghorn. That
whole
is
donut
that is
in
a
a
massive
donut's hole.
performance. Yeah,
It makes
it's
no
not,
damn sense.
compels
Me though.
But it compels me.
Yeah, no, it's not about
That
like how
absolutely
much
counts.
of the movie you're in. It's
Yeah.
about how much space you're taking
How
up.
theatrical is it?
Yeah.
You know.
And that is an extremely
great-
fucking theatrical
that's a
performance.
great
Then
example.
does Austin Butler and Elvis count?
You know what? As an Elvis fan, I'm going to go no. Actually, I don't think that counts.
I think there is a performance chewing the scenery in that movie.
It's Tom Hanks. It's 100% Tom Hanks. Yeah, that's the scene chewing character.
Yeah, that is a guy who is.
Hey, Alexis, I finally bought Elvis on 4K Blu-ray.
It's on the shelf.
And it's finally on the shelf.
Fancy pants.
Right.
I'd like to bring up Mr. Kurtwood Smith as Clarence Boddicker in RoboCop.
Okay.
Can you fly, Bobby?
Okay.
He's the guy who murders Officer Alex Murphy before he
Right.
becomes RoboCop.
Right.
That is a guy who is swinging for the fucking fences with his performance. The Tigers are on tonight. I never miss a game. Oh. He is fucking nuts in that movie. And many people in the American works of Mr. Paul Verhoeven are giving scenery chewing performances. But I would say that Kurtwood Smith is one of my favorites because he also, like, if you don't know who Kurtwood Smith is, if you've ever seen That 70s Show, he's on that. He's a balding man with glasses.
He's great. He's the best part of that show. In my opinion.
He is one of the best parts of RoboCop.
That reminds me, actually, that performance reminds me a lot of Bill Paxton in Near Dark.
Yeah,
that
that's
vampire
another
film.
one. Yep.
That's a great example.
Nom.
Finger licking good. Oh, man.
What about Stephanie Sue in Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yeah, I would say
Is that the
that's
daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the daughter.
She's getting to chew some.
She chews
I
it.
feel like a good number of people in that movie. I feel like
a lot of people
Jamie Lee
chewing.
Curtis is also
I also thought about her too.
starting to eat some of that scenery. You know who has chewed scenery in basically every single film he's ever been in?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Tim Curry.
Delroy Lindo.
Yes. Ooh, everyone just said correct answers just now. All three of us.
Okay.
Everyone deserves a pat on the old tummy.
No.
I'm hearing growling.
That's
From
Alexis's
Alexis.
tummy.
So sorry. My dog is she's bringing me a toy. She's trying to play with me, and I'm trying to tell her no, and she is trying to give it to
no.
me. So. No.
There
we
it is.
go.
Nice. Ooh.
There we go. She laid down.
Dominatrix
I'm sorry. I
over
just
here.
didn't want to say no loudly on the podcast,
like it.
but it
I
really
love
doesn't
it.
work
You should
unless
say
I'm
that
very
more loudly on the
assertive.
podcast going
So,
forward.
No.
oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Oh boy. No. Wait. No.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was thinking of Delroy Lindo and fucking Gone in 60 Seconds, but also in The Harder They Fall.
Yes. And The Five Bloods. He absolutely chooses to see it. Have you seen that yet?
I watched it.
I've still not seen
but
it,
I was
but I
very
want
tired
to.
when I watched it, so I feel like a lot of it didn't absorb
Delroy
enough.
Lindo steals the fucking show.
I remember him being very good.
He's fantastic. Tortured veteran. Go ahead.
Wait, Benedict Cumberbatch in The Power of the Dog.
Enderbun Beaty Bop. What?
Bitty Bitty Bumba.
I feel like that's.
Abadabadundum.
I don't know if I.
Abba-dabba-doom-dum?
count that- Oh my god!
Is it because it's more
Bum-bum-booty-dee.
subtle? Is it because it's more subtle? I guess that's.
I didn't even hear what she
more
said.
subtle.
What film?
Power of the Dog. Cumberbatch. I don't know.
No, it's got to be like.
Yeah, I think it
bigger,
has to
theatrical.
be a little more theatrical. He gets his moments.
See, I think I just don't quite understand the whole chewing the scenery thing.
I think Tim Curry, as an
Yes.
actor, every performance
Right.
he has ever given is like big and theatrical and becomes the thing that you're talking about after you see the movie, even if he's not the lead.
See, that gives me a totally different, connotation than chewing the scenery, because to me, chewing the scenery is very contemplative.
No,
and,
that's not what chewing the
purposeful
scenery
and sometimes
means.
subtle.
Yeah, that's not
No,
what chewing the
I think
scenery means
that's-
at all. No. Chewing the scenery is 100% playing a big role with
Right.
a lot of verve and enjoyment.
That's why I said Samuel Jackson, because quite often in a new Tarantino film that he's in, critics will say, and Samuel Jackson chewed the scenery. Like it's him as the house slave in Django.
Yes.
Him as,
To
Jules.
act melodramatically or overact.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I actually had no idea that was the actual
That's what it means.
phrase.
That's what it
I
means.
still don't know what eyes welling and swelling means, so we're all
Yeah,
learning.
Listen, Alexis, you've only gotten
disgusting.
that wrong on one episode. Mick has
no.
said that his eyes are
Alexis,
swelling.
you gotta keep it
like,
consistent.
on like 4 different episodes.
When I was driving over here, I
Okay,
actually
well,
thought
I'm
about
the
that.
type of person that ever since I was a kid, I will look words up in the dictionary just so that I know exactly what it means, so that I know exactly how to use it.
So you're taking
Nice.
you're taking
So
this
we're
harder
two
than
different
Nick
types
is.
of people.
Yeah. See, I
We're
don't
two
do
very
that.
different types of people.
I live so comfortably in my life. I'm like, I could change, but then that would mean work.
That would mean doing
That would
something.
mean
A final one that I'd like to bring up, because I feel like a lot of the times villain roles are kind of the roles
Yeah, we
where
love
you
the bad guys.
you get to chew the scenery the
Yeah.
most. You get to be kind of flamboyant and over the top. And one of my favorite scenery chewing villain performances is Mr. Matthew Lillard in Scream.
yes.
yeah,
Matthew
I actually
Lillard.
thought of him earlier
Yeah.
too.
That's
yeah.
a guy that chooses scenery.
Leave
Devour.
her alone.
Even before it's revealed
Yeah.
that he's one of our antagonists, which, by the way, if you're saying spoilers listening to this, you fucked up by not watching Scream
Scream,
already.
yeah.
That's not my fault.
Yeah, that's you can't come into our podcast and not have seen Scream.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time.
First rule, rookie mistake.
Phil Majors. We cream for Scream.
Rookie mistake person I made up.
Yeah.
But yeah, even before he's revealed to be the villain, Matthew Lillard is like going for fucking broke. And then once he is revealed to be one of the villains, holy shit.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna mess with the little mixture here for a second. Now, we established, the Google or Webster established that chewing the scenery means like melodramatic acting, right?
It can be, yeah. Or
Okay.
overacting.
Or overacting. Here is a performance that absolutely chews the scenery so much that it won them an Academy Award, and I would say does not overact and melodramatic, and that is Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter.
Ooh.
Now, he can get up there. He shouts in that movie, but he chews the scenery in that film. But I wouldn't say that it's like super theatrical and loud. He's not playing to the
It is
the nosebleed
theatrical,
section.
but it's not loud.
It's not loud, no. But I think that counts.
Yeah,
What
I can see
What
that.
about Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's hard to say that he's not chewing the scenery in that movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's a good one.
What about either Taika Waititi or Sam Rockwell in Jojo Rabbit?
Yeah, I feel like it's sometimes hard for me to decide if someone's. I feel like you can chew the scenery in
I'm
a
gonna
comedic performance. I would say Waititi. Yeah.
Interesting, because I'm going to go more towards Sam Rockwell in that one.
Okay.
I think because
I think
Waititi is just
especially
being
that
a quirky
last
character.
scene with Sam Rockwell in the cape and everything. Like I don't know. I feel like there's
here's
a lot
why I
going on
side with Rockwell is because he steals the scene. Taika Waititi, he's in the scenes, but they're not his. They're not
Yeah,
the
he's
Waititi scenes.
playing like color
Yeah.
on the palette.
Right.
there. Yeah.
You know who else has chewed the scenery in most of the films he's been in?
Who?
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. I was going to mention Dracula.
Yeah.
I was going to mention Face Off.
Yeah.
But you know who else has chewed the scenery in many a film he's been in?
I would say up there with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, including the film that we are talking about today.
Goddamn right.
Mr. Willem Dafoe.
my God.
Motherfucking Willem Dafoe.
Okay, what's your favorite Willem Dafoe performance then? Or to name a few of them.
Well, one I really like is his performance as Norman Osborn in the 2002 film Spider-Man, directed by Sam Raimi and starring Willem Dafoe, Tobey Maguire, J.K. Simmons, Kirsten Dunst, and James Franco. But I also love him in The Lighthouse.
Yeah, The Lighthouse is my go-to for that.
Is that your guys' go-to?
It's my
Okay.
go-to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is probably The Lighthouse or this, because I have watched Sam Raimi's Spider-Man a fucking lot in my life.
Yeah.
Alexis, what's yours?
Every time I think of the Boondock Saints, I think of Willem
good
Dafoe.
choice. Good choice.
And
Nice.
like, I just think of the scene where like you kind of meet him as a character for the first time, and he literally comes to a crime scene. He puts on this like opera music and
Yeah.
puts some headphones on and starts waltzing around the fucking crime scene and just doing his shit as a detective. And at some point he even dresses up as like a hooker or something so that the boys can get to the bad guys at the very end. And incredible. I just fucking love Willem Dafoe. I still
Yeah, he's
did
a
I watch
treasure.
The Lighthouse? I can't even remember, to be honest. I think I might have, but the Boondock Saints is where it's at for me.
Nice.
Hey,
I really liked him at Eternity's Gate,
I still haven't seen that.
which is really, really, really good.
Hey, Alexis, I have a question for you. Would, if you were to guess, which actor in the cast of Spider-Man would you guess actively pursued being in this movie? Like, Sam Raimi or a casting director did not come to them.
Right.
They heard that Spider-Man was being made, and they were like, I gotta be in this. Keep in mind, this is at a time where superhero movies are not a dominant cultural
It's probably
force.
like 2000,
Well, it's
2001.
definitely not J.K. Simmons then.
No. Come on, you know who it is. Think about it. Think about who it was.
Are you saying Willem Dafoe?
I am saying
Yes.
Willem Dafoe. Of course it was Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Everyone else had to be like pitched on this movie or convinced.
Really?
I'm sure it wasn't that hard for J.K. Simmons because him and Raimi had worked together a couple years before on this baseball movie called For Love of the Game.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
But
For the love of the game, who made that?
Sam Raimi.
What?
That's a Raimi movie.
No fucking way.
Yes, it is.
Whoa.
Kevin Costner.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He directed
That's
that?
a Sam Raimi movie. I watched it last year when I had
I
COVID.
grew up watching For the Love of the Game. And
It's a boring movie.
It's boring. Yeah, no, it's not. That's a Sam Raimi film?
Yep.
No.
We gotta get okay. But my point is
No.
that Willem Dafoe found out that this movie was being made, and at the time,
Wow.
they were in like negotiations with John Malkovich to play this role, and yeah, Mick is just
I'm
baffled.
shocked.
Yeah, man.
I'm shocked that's a Sam Raimi film.
yeah.
Holy shit.
And yeah, Willem Dafoe was like, I wanted to be in a cartoon movie. It seemed fun.
Dude, he like went full on. Well, like Willem Dafoe always fucking
Yeah.
does. I've seen like clips of him like learning how to get onto that glider, and that shit is intense.
Yes. So I'm going to read the description.
Go for it.
Spider-Man centers on student Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire, who, after being bitten by a genetically altered spider, gains superhuman strength and the spider-like ability to cling to any surface. He vows to use his abilities to fight crime, coming to understand the words of his beloved Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. I mean, it's like kind of funny to like...
Did they even watch the film?
Oh my God.
Jesus.
I mean, I think that is kind of...
Fucking woofed it.
speaks to the strength of this movie, and one of the things that like
Yeah.
watching it now after 2 decades of superhero movies being fucking culturally dominant
Yeah.
is like really
Yeah.
refreshing, is that basically
Yeah.
sums up the first hour of this movie.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
the first at least basically hour of Spider-Man is dedicated to establishing the characters and their relationships and Peter's powers and how he comes to grow into the realization that he has to use them for good. It basically adapts the first issue of Spider-Man, which is probably like 12 pages of fucking pictures.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know. I love this movie so much. I think it cares so much about its characters.
Yeah.
It really like devotes the time to tell an emotionally satisfying story and not just be an action blockbuster, but actually like be a story about human beings and about people. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
That's how you do a superhero movie, man.
Goddamn right.
Alexis, what did you think? What does this movie mean to you?
Yeah, when did you first watch
Oh my
Spider-Man?
God. I literally wrote down, this is the movie that started it all, because This movie came out in 2002. My nephew would have been about 2. And so he was Spider-Man he was Spider-Man and a ninja, like every year
Kind of
at
the same
school. Well, yeah, like he would alternate. Like at home, he would be a ninja, like, you know, going out at night, and at school, he would always be Spider-Man or something. I can't even remember. But for like 6 years, this was like a consistent. He was always Spider-Man. We were playing the game on PlayStation 2. We were like Spider-Man was like everything in our household for like forever because of my nephew, who's only like a few years younger than you, Zach.
I was 4 when this movie came out. One of my earliest memories is, because I probably didn't see this in the theater when it came out. I actually would have been 3 when the movie came out, because the movie came out in May. One of my earliest memories is seeing the Willem Dafoe transformation scene at my place and being so scared.
Oh, really?
I had recurring. I had genuinely. This is true. I had recurring, vivid nightmares about my mom turning around and being the Green Goblin.
Jesus.
From ages 3
that is
to
terrifying.
6.
So
He scared me.
Hold
Willem
on.
Dafoe's scenery chewing performance scared me
your
so
nightmare
bad.
is your mom turning around and your mom's Willem Dafoe. That's the nightmare.
And
Let's be
honestly,
honest.
when I bring that up now, that sounds just as fucking
Yeah,
scary.
no, that's scary. I got
It does.
chills.
It sounds terrifying.
But yeah, I was much the same way as a kid. I literally, I went and got a bunch of stuff from my dad because he just moved houses. And that included like probably 20 like loose issues of Spider-Man comics that used to come with our local newspaper. They did this thing where every Sunday there would be like a single old school issue of Spider-Man that would come with the newspaper. And that was like my favorite thing. That was the highlight of my week. I'd be like, oh my God, Spider-Man comics coming. So yeah, no, Spider-Man was like the thing in my house as well.
Yeah, to be fair, like, you know, I gotta give hats off to Noah. As many things as I introduced that kid to, like music taste, movies, like all these different things, he introduced me to 2 very pivotal things in my childhood, which was the original Star Wars and the like Spider-Man, but like real deep into Spider-Man, because we even had like episodes of the old school cartoon on VHS that we used to watch all the time too together. Yeah, I mean, I love them. I'm not really a superhero person, like, at all. Like, I don't watch most of the Marvel movies, and I also, like, just haven't seen any old superhero movies, like Superman or any of those things either. But Spider-Man, really, just, like, I've been devoted to this specific superhero. Like, I loved Andrew Garfield, too, as Spider-Man. So, you know, like, we even had, like, a whole conversation, me and my nephew, of, like, who's your favorite Spider-Man and everything. So,
I'm sure we'll dive into that on this as well.
So, Mick, you've had kind of the opposite experience with Spider-Man, as I understand.
Yes. So
I'm really curious to know how you felt watching this movie.
Rewatching it, because this is the first time I've seen this film since I was in single digits, at least like 7, 8, 9 around there. It's been a long time since I've seen this film. And obviously it didn't mean that much to me as a kid because I didn't revisit it that much. Yeah. I really like Spider-Man 2, but I'm not a big Spider-Man guy.
Yeah.
And I think that says something about me, and it's not good, because the superhero that really like blew my mind as a kid was Tony Stark. And he is
I was literally going to say it was Iron Man, wasn't it?
Bootlicker.
Yeah, no, for real.
Kowtow to the billionaires.
I look back on that. And I'm like, ooh, that's not good. Like the guy who has all of these super cool cars and has a house in Malibu. That's why I love cars. I love cars. I love.
Sounds like a canon event.
I love awesome fucking houses. That's good, Alexis. Yeah. So Spider-Man just didn't do it for me.
You didn't enjoy watching a man fucking struggle with making ends meet?
Yeah, no, that didn't hit me as a kid, to be honest with you. But honestly, here's the weird part. What really didn't jive with me as a kid about Spider-Man was all of the Spider-Man toys. I remember distinctly like getting a Spider-Man toy and then like playing with my friend's Spider-Man toys and being like, this is just like cheap crap. Like the web shooter didn't actually shoot webs. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
I was also let down by this.
So honestly, that it doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it makes sense, but as like my child brain, I was like, don't like the toys, don't like the guy. Don't like Spider-Man.
So I told you me and my nephew used to play Spider-Man on the PS2 like all the time.
Right.
And it's so funny that you're saying like that it's kind of like, oh, he is kind of a down and out like actual real New York kid. Not having any cars, like he ain't got shit.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do in the game was to deliver pizzas.
It's time.
Wow.
Like in between, because he had like a regular job, right? So like in between like doing the missions, it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto. Like in between doing the missions, you go like you fuck some hookers,
It's Spider-Man?
So in between doing missions on
I was like, you do that in Spider-Man?
Grand Theft Auto, yeah.
Jesus,
so
Peter
in between
Parker.
missions on Spider-Man, you like deliver some pizza or something.
Oh my god.
Kill a hooker, deliver pizza, save some kids.
Yeah, it's all the
hooker.
same thing.
So Mick, you've talked about why you didn't like Spider-Man all
but
the time.
revisiting it?
Well, yeah, how did you feel revisiting this movie?
It's a damn good time. I can totally see why it's a classic. Something that kind of blew me away was just how unapologetically Saturday morning cartoonish this film is. Like the lines of dialogue, the way they're delivered by the actors.
We'll meet again, Spider-Man!
Yeah, like you could have done this whole film illustrated as a cartoon and it would have totally worked. And that's a compliment to the film.
This is why Sam Raimi is the fucking director to make this movie. Like, this is a guy who clearly read comic books and his movies,
definitely.
like his early, I mean, you and I, massive Evil Dead fans.
Huge.
The Evil Dead movies feel like they're ripped out of like an EC horror comic.
Yeah.
Like, those feel like Tales from the Crypt. Like, they are so silly and overblown and like focused on iconography and packing a frame with a bunch of information.
Yeah.
And he brings that same sensibility to Spider-Man. Like, I was losing my mind watching the scene where Peter is like transforming, where he's like lying on his floor after being bitten by the spider and like sweating, and the frame like flashes with light and you see a spider superimposed on the frame and a laughing skull superimposed on it, and like that is both so comic booky and so
It's
Raimi and the Evil Dead.
It's super hacky too.
There's this-
like it's not
there's
like,
this-
but that's good though. It's
Okay.
like not done super well, but it works.
There's like the scene where he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna make a bunch of money and get a car so I can take MJ around. And so he's like figuring out what his fucking outfit's gonna be. And there's all these like overlays.
Yeah.
And it's just like literally like, I think like 8 to 10 overlays.
It's so
of him
thrilling.
just like
Yeah.
in different
And then-
positions, scribbling on this.
But like
fucking
that's how that would be.
it's
In a comic book.
That's how that would be displayed in
yeah,
a comic.
exactly.
You would see
It's like
Peter
it looks
in the
kind of
foreground.
hacky now, like 20 years later.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, wow,
so
that's
charming.
so
But
Spider-Man.
also,
I would contend it
It's-
looks better 20 years
it's-
later because this movie looks like a fucking
I love
movie.
it.
It looks like a person had a take and made a movie,
Yes,
not,
but
it was cranked down the conveyor belt of Marvel Studios and came out looking fucking great
This
and previs.
does not feel like a corporate piece, especially that sequence you're talking about where he's not designing a superhero outfit, he's designing a wrestling outfit. And you're getting different versions of it, as you're saying. And then my favorite part is like a weirdly photoshopped Ford Thunderbird is just imposed on it, and that's it. Like it's like possibly one of the cars he might buy if he gets this money, and you never revisit it. It's like you have a skull, spider, you have Spider-Man,
well, important things happen.
and Ford
so.
Thunderbird. Like it doesn't matter. It's there. You love it. It's really ridiculous. Also, this is the last thing I'll say about cars with this film. But
we do have to bring up the car.
I have to talk about the Plymouth Prowler that Joe Manganiello, what the fuck is his name?
Flash Thompson?
Flash Thompson.
Yeah, Flash Thompson.
Which, by the way, Alexis, when I saw him in this, I was like, oh my God, it's the guy from True Blood.
Okay. I was looking things up about the movie while I was watching the movie, and it was all Joe Manganiello, and I was all, shut the fuck up. This
excuse
man
me,
is in this movie?
Alexis, it's Joe Manjo.
That's how we looked it up. That's how you pronounce it.
Manjo.
No, you're all done.
Let me just...
I'm just getting started.
Joe Manganiello. Is that how you pronounce it? There's so many random, like, not even like cameos, but just like people who weren't famous yet were in this movie. Like Octavia Spencer. Is it Octavia Spencer
Elizabeth
is
Banks.
the check-in girl at the fucking wrestling place.
Where, sorry? At
the wrestling place.
At the cage match with Cinema's greatest character, Bonesaw McGraw,
played by Macho Man Randy Savage.
Bonesaw is ready.
So what's so funny is that when I was watching that scene, it reminded me of the video of you guys. Like when we were in college, we recorded like these scenes of dialogue, and we could not get our shit together. And Zach just started doing like a fucking
hey freak show.
Yeah.
You're going nowhere.
Yeah, and everyone found it
for 3 minutes.
Everyone found it so funny, and I was so annoyed.
3 minutes of later.
God.
I can tell you were mad at the time. I can see that you're mad now, and
I still have that video, and it's still funny to this day.
Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah.
It is. I think it's hilarious.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, that's...
And
he's all, where are you going? Trying to stay away from you. Who made your outfit? Your husband?
Yeah, gotta get a little bit of...
So dumb.
Yeah, that is the one thing.
A little bit of homophobia sprinkled in.
People always complained, like, one of the big complaints about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, because I feel like there was a period of time where the consensus take online started to become, these movies are hokey, Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's not funny, he's not quippy. Spider-Man's supposed to be funny and quippy.
He was quippy.
The one time he did
quippy.
a quip in these movies, like the one time they really tried to have him make a joke,
homophobic.
It's homophobic.
Yeah. I think what he got really good about Spider-Man is just the earnestness.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's what these movies get.
I'm gonna say he got the dorkiness down perfectly.
Yeah,
He's a
like
super
of
dork.
all of the characters, he is definitely like he looks like a fucking nerd. Like I believe that man was left behind by the school bus. You know? Okay, one of my favorite things between him and MJ, like really early on, is when she like tells him like, "Oh, I really want to be like an actress and stuff." He's like, "Oh yeah, you were so good in like all the school plays," and she's like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, like when I saw Cinderella, like I cried so baby," and she's like, "Peter, that was the first grade."
And his delivery,
that shit made me laugh.
His
so
delivery
hard.
of even so.
Yeah, it's
like
the importance of being earnest.
Yeah.
It is
It's super charming.
like, that is a scene that would get like nuked out of a modern superhero movie.
Yeah.
Like,
That's draft one and then out.
But it's like, it's so sweet. And like, I brought this up on our It's a Wonderful Life episode. Go back and listen to it. This feels like a Frank Capra movie in some ways. Like the dialogue,
the earnestness of the character,
the earnestness, and like the kind of verbose and like emotionally dense dialogue,
Right.
really feels
the overarching theme
very
of goodness.
like MGM musical old Hollywood.
Yeah, it actually the most film noir aspect of this, kind of like that, is when for a moment Peter Parker looks like he's not going to be a superhero; he's going to be a super zero, and he's like, "Hey, that guy's taking my money." He's like,
I missed the part where that's my problem.
I missed the part where that's my problem. You're like, "Oh shit, okay, it's all right." So he's actually just going to do his own fucking thing, and then that ends up becoming a huge choice.
That's his canon event
in his life. That's his canon
sucked.
event, exactly. So I agree with you. Yeah, you have these moments that are just, it's all about doing what's right. And being true to yourself, being true to your community. It's beautiful.
And that's a thing that I kind of love about this movie thematically in relationship to the rest of Sam Raimi's filmography. Because Raimi's movies are often about, like, people being presented with power and a choice. And in many a Raimi movie, the wrong choice is made, and you are fucked for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, The Evil Dead is like, hey, don't read the evil book.
Right.
Or A Simple Plan, which is a great fucking movie.
I don't think I've seen that.
Bill Paxton.
Oh, shit.
It's three guys find a downed airplane with a dead pilot and $2 million in cash in it.
Oh, cool.
Don't take the bag of money. It's very like
Oh, well.
I totally would have taken
yeah,
the money.
I would too.
Yeah,
But,
I definitely would have.
they're often about
I would have taken the dead guy.
characters. Okay,
You
Well,
guys
let's
take
not-
the money. I'll take the dead guy.
Let's not dig into that.
I have.
Yeah, let's not.
I have-
You take that to therapy.
You have
baby.
money. I have a wealth of bones.
The bones.
He's the bone daddy.
But I like that Spider-Man is like a movie about a guy being faced with, great power and temptation, and he does the right thing.
Right.
Yeah,
I love that.
that was. Go ahead.
Apparently, Sam Raimi, when he was a kid, went to his parents commissioned a local artist. They gave him $30 to do a big painting of Spider-Man above his bed. So he went to bed underneath a painting of Spider-Man every single night.
That is precious.
Like that passion shines
It's a core memory.
shines the fuck through
Yeah.
in this movie.
Yeah.
And like at the time,
I
Raimi was not the.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought that David Fincher was going to make this movie because he was like he
Thank
had made
God.
a bunch of movies with Sony,
That
and he
did not
knew
happen.
he knew Laura Ziskin, the producer of this movie. Yeah, would have been a crazy fucking choice, but people were like, "Oh, well, you got to make this cool, and David Fincher will make this cool."
He was the cool guy on the
And
scene
the way
at the time,
Raimi
yeah.
found out that he was probably going to get the movie is he read this Variety article that said, against all odds, Sam Raimi is the frontrunner to direct Spider-Man.
Wow.
And he was like, really?
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
I think that he brings a lot of joy to the character's discovery of his power because there's nothing more fun than fucking Tobey Maguire just starting to yeet himself over buildings and shit.
So funny. There's so many memes in this movie now. It's crazy.
Oh my god, I laughed so hard when he was crying over fucking Uncle Ben because it's just an
It's
iconic
hilarious.
meme.
Oh, it
it
hit
is.
me.
And I was like, and I felt so bad. I was like, I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
Uncle Ben.
The internet has kind of ruined this film in a few ways.
I think that I've seen it enough at this point where it's come back around
Right.
to
Really? Okay.
functioning
Yeah.
the way it should as a movie. I think it's so well made. I really, it spawned.
There's no wasted scenes. There's no wasted lines of dialogue.
It has spawned so much deeply cynical corporate filmmaking from both Marvel and DC Studios, and it's a bummer that that's what this movie spawned because this is such a genuine, carefully made piece of cinema.
Right.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese liked it.
Well, there you go.
My oldest nephew, he was like, we were like, top betrayals in cinema is Harry making a move on MJ.
Unreal. Franco, what a fucking
Unreal.
weasel in this movie.
How could you fucking do that to your homie? And he literally even says later on in the movie, how he's like, Peter's been in love with MJ since the 4th grade. And I literally out loud, I said to my sister, I was all, and he still fucking asked her out. What a dick.
Unreal.
Dude, fuck that guy.
James Cameron. Jesus
James
Christ.
Cameron. James Cameron almost made a Spider-Man movie.
Really?
He wanted to.
Really?
He wanted to make a Spider-Man movie for a long time. That was what he was trying to get made
I would wanna
after
watch
Terminator
that.
2.
I would want to watch that.
If you buy his book of concept art, you can see his drawings
No shit.
of Spider-Man. Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Also, fucking Norman, it's kind of tragic because, like, even though he's like a big businessman, I kind of like him a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
Alexis, I'm with you.
in some ways.
I kind of
yeah,
felt
I
for
feel
him.
like he's. Yeah, like I feel like he's a what would you call that? A sympathetic character in some ways. Like I don't know. I like whatchamacallit, when he has this interaction with Peter, like even though he's putting his son down, Peter like says like, "Oh no, I'll find my own way."
I respect
and he's
that.
like, "You know what? That's cool. I respect that." And I was like, "You know what? Actually, this is cool. Yeah, like I'm glad that you're into that and stuff. I don't know. That was nice of you."
He pioneers the fucking company, and then like they try to kick him out. Like, do you know how much I've sacrificed? And I'm like, yeah. Do you know how much this guy sacrificed? Like, for real, you can't just fucking put him.
Clearly,
give him
his
a fat
entire
check at
relationship
least.
with his son.
Okay, but this is why I think that Spider-Man 1 will always be one of the best Spider-Man movies, and Spider-Man 2 will always be the best Spider-Man movie. Full fucking stop. Both of these movies Peter is dealing with a villain who in some way either comes from privilege or has become privileged.
Right.
Like Octavius might not have been a rich guy, but through his, experiments and his relationship with Oscorp,
Brilliance. Yeah.
he has become wealthy, and Osborn is, a man of industry.
Yeah.
He's a tycoon.
Yeah.
Right.
And both of their pitches are, you should be rising above the teeming masses and subjugating them. Like, literally, there's that scene on the rooftop, which is kind of goofy because it's two guys in very inexpressive suits.
Having a very
Having a philosophical conversation about the nature of power. But Osborn has that line where he's like, the teeming masses whose sole purpose in life is to lift the few exceptional people up on their shoulders.
I love that scene. Green Goblin, he's so casual, man. He's just hanging out with Spider-Man, telling him his side of it. It's great. He taps him on the shoulder like, come on.
That's
exceptional
great.
ones.
Like Willem Dafoe,
Great.
came up in the theater like, I'm going to use my body to express myself. But both of the villains, their whole pitch is, I am above the common man.
Right.
And you should join me above them.
Right.
And Peter Parker will never do that.
Yeah.
Because he is a working class fucking hero.
Now
and that's
I
what
totally
Tom
get
Holland
what you're saying
sucks.
about Frank Capra. That's the only I totally get what you're saying about Frank Capra now, because it's very much like Potter and fucking what's his name?
He's George Bailey. He is George Bailey. Thank you.
Interesting.
Yes.
And he has to give up all these things to protect the people that he loves.
He won't even give out his body. Like, at the end of this movie, she's
won't-
like,
Yeah.
I'm into you.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I can't do it.
No, okay, but that's another thing of Sam Raimi motherfucking understanding Spider-Man. Like, and this is such a perfect Spider-Man ending because the whole, like, interesting thing about the character as he was originally written in the comics is, like, he is a normal guy with normal problems, and everything he does in his superhero life takes some kind of a toll in his personal
He has to
life.
sacrifice.
Every time Spider-Man wins, Peter Parker loses.
Right.
And this movie, like, ends on a down note. Like, he's defeated the villain, but, his friend unknowingly now hates him. He can't be with the woman he loves. And he's going to spend his life selling pictures to a guy who's going to use those photos to blackmail him. Like, but he's going to keep going because, much like George Bailey, he knows that it's the right thing to do because he's going to protect his community. And then his community at the end is going to protect him. Because if you mess with Spidey, you mess with New York. And if you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Mess with all of us. Oh, I loved that. I loved the bridge scene. I was all, hell yeah, New York was banding together.
This movie must have hit so fucking hard in 2002.
Yeah, this was like 6 months after.
Literally, the teaser trailer for this movie was a web in between the Twin Towers catching a helicopter full of villains. Like,
Dude, Danny Elfman doing the score.
holy shit. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
We love Danny
It's a
Elfman.
good score.
We love Danny Elfman.
I think Danny
on this
Elfman makes
podcast.
comic book movies feel more comic booky. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
I think you also have to take into consideration it's because he scored Batman, but still,
Yeah.
it's just like he
did-
gets it.
He did good work on the new Doctor Strange with Raimi.
He did good work on Avengers: Age of Ultron.
That's Danny Elfman?
That's Danny Elfman.
No,
It is.
really?
Yeah.
Is that not Alan Silvestri?
He
again?
did. He did Ultron.
Wow. That's,
Yeah. And by the way, the Avengers score that Silvestri did, I think Danny Elfman's rendition of it is the best.
Wow.
It's really good.
I didn't realize that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You
But
know
yeah, I agree.
what's
Danny Elfman's great.
Yeah, one scene that I really love is the first time that Norman is confronting himself as the Green Goblin.
It's great.
When he's in his house. He's surrounded by all these like tribal masks,
Yeah.
you know? So like really good art direction
Really
in that
good.
scene. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up that scene because that is one of the scenes where Willem Dafoe is really getting to just eat the fucking scenery up.
Yeah.
Ooh, and the mirror, like the mirrored
Well,
images
so
too, going back and
What was
forth.
interesting
good.
about that is I was like, oh shit. Like rewatching it's like they beat Lord of the Rings to it because Gollum does that same thing.
Yeah.
He's arguing with his reflection. Smeagol, excuse me,
Yeah.
is arguing with Gollum. And I was like, oh fuck, like fucking Sam Raimi beat him to the punch, like with a very, very good, well shot scene of him arguing with himself. And
Yeah,
it's so,
and
I forgot
for-
that he's kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type character when
Yeah,
I
and
was watching
for
this.
for a large part of that scene, like that's all in one shot. That's an
Yeah.
in-camera trick. Like, you know, obviously Gollum and Smeagol are, you know, rendered with computer-generated imagery.
Right.
This is just an actor
Right.
doing his fucking thing.
Yeah, it's so good. Let's talk about.
Let's talk about the other performance.
Yeah, we need to talk
where-
about J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. I was going to say, wait, can I say my favorite line?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay. I resent that. Slander is spoken. Print is libel.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I resent that. Slander is spoken. In print, it's libel.
Right.
Yeah,
I want pictures of
It's so
Spider-Man.
good.
Every line that he delivers is perfect.
It truly
Not
is.
even his lines, even him communicating without speaking is fantastic.
all his little interactions with Mr. Little Baby Boy Ted Raimi.
Little Ted Raimi.
Yeah. The dorky dude in glasses in the Daily Bugle office, that's Sam Raimi's little brother.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
it blows my mind that Elizabeth Banks is, I always forget Elizabeth Banks is in this
I know.
movie.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. His J.K. Simmons' whole bit where he's talking about bumping someone off the first page of the newspaper so they can put his picture of Spider-Man on there. He's like,
Yeah.
bump to page 7. I mean, page 8. And, you know, knock off 10% of his ad space or 5%. Like,
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's so. Yeah, I agree with you, Zach, because you said this while we were watching. It's like that might be one of the most perfectly cast characters.
yeah, like it
Oh,
just
100%.
his reading a comic book with J.K. or see
There it is.
J. Jonah Jameson in it. You hear J.K. Simmons' voice.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Yeah.
I never said you had a job. Meat. I'll give you some nice Christmas meat.
Neat. That's so funny. I trust my barber.
You don't trust anyone, do you? Trust my barber.
He says with a not
Yeah, that was
with a
fucking
not
funny.
great haircut.
That's another
Yeah.
like thing that feels very like golden age of Hollywood. All the
Yeah.
like rat-a-tat dialogue.
It's my favorite kind of humor.
in the Daily Bugle.
Yeah.
Feels like a Billy Wilder movie.
I was gonna say it's like a Neil Simon play.
Yeah.
It's quick, it's fast. If you don't pay attention, you miss it, and you're like, oh, that was a fucking brilliant line.
Mick, I really think that we should sometime this week roll Spider-Man 2
I'm down.
because there's even more
Yeah,
of that.
I've been wanting to rewatch it. 'Cause I haven't seen, honestly, I haven't seen Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2 in a long
Yeah,
time.
I
And I
haven't
actually
seen
don't think
either
I've
of them.
ever seen Spider-Man 3.
It's honestly
Later,
pretty
chump.
solid. See you, Joe.
What the hell?
If you
God.
know,
The
you
internet
know,
is the
listener.
gift that keeps on giving, buddy.
Okay.
And if you don't know, now you know.
I'd like to circle back to something that was brought up earlier where, we were talking about who's the best Spider-Man.
Yeah, this is actually something I want to talk about.
Before we get into that, I just want to say that there is no debate as to which movies are the most cinematic and the
Right.
best movies.
Yeah.
Because you know what people call the Andrew Garfield movies? They call them the Andrew Garfield ones.
Right.
When people talk about the Tom Holland movies, they're either like, oh, the Tom Holland ones or the MCU ones.
Right.
You know what people call these ones?
The Sam Raimi ones.
The Raimi movies.
Yeah.
Because these are fucking real-ass movies.
Yeah. So when I was
Made by
Googling,
someone with vision.
when I was looking up this film, I just wrote Spider-Man, Sam Raimi. And like that's the first thing that pops up.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's great.
Because these are movies made by someone who fucking cared and fucking knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Real-ass director. Roger Ebert listed this as his fourth favorite movie of... He listed Spider-Man 2 as his fourth favorite movie of 2004 and said that it should have been nominated for Best Picture. And you know
shit.
what? I disagree with him because looking at films that I've seen from 2004, it's my favorite one.
Interesting.
Spider-Man 2 is a
Yeah.
fucking stone cold masterpiece.
I remember loving it as a kid. I
think-
haven't seen it for a while.
Perfect movie.
My thing about these movies is that I don't like the female character, or at least especially growing up, I don't think I liked the female character. And I think for me as a woman personally, when there's somebody that I'm like, she seems dumb or like she seems stupid, and I don't want to like necessarily like say that, but you know, like MJ's fucking dumb.
I think that
she making dumb choices out here.
MJ's
and
definitely a damsel in this one. I'd encourage you to rewatch Spider-Man
Yeah,
2.
which is-
because I think
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst is very good in that movie.
I think that's kind of why when I was talking to with my nephew over this, we kind of both agreed that like of all the Spider-Man movies, like we kind of liked Andrew Garfield's relationship with Gwen Stacy the most, just because like we really liked the chemistry between like Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield, and I also just really loved like how smart
I would agree
she
with that.
is and just kind of like in the mix
I would agree
of
with that,
everything.
yeah.
And I enjoy a female character that is in the fucking mix, like immediately, like she's down for the count, you know? And like MJ's just not that in the first movie. Like, you know, you have this moment where she's like, guess what? I'm in love with somebody, and it's Spider-Man. But also, okay, one of the most iconic cinematic kisses.
I mean,
you
my
know?
God.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
Rewatching
Apparently-
Yes.
that, I was like, oh man,
Apparently that was a nightmare to shoot.
I believe it.
Because
I'm
he's
sure it
got
was.
water
You're basically, like,
flowing
making
down
out with
Tobey
someone's
Maguire.
chin.
Yeah, he felt like he was drowning.
Yeah, he's being waterboarded while making out with Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah. Although they were dating at the time, so
Were they really?
every single
Wait, so-
lead actor
Every single
pairing of
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
yeah.
has dated at some point.
That's interesting.
Spider-Man brings the masses together.
Wow, so no
and he
pressure for
brings
the
love
next.
into our hearts.
No pressure for the next Spider-Man and MJ. Like they're going to be looking at each other during rehearsals. Like, so should we fuck?
We should probably.
We should probably fuck.
I'm gonna say that
Carry
this
the
is
tradition.
I'm gonna say that this is still my favorite romantic relationship from any of the Spider-Man
Of all
movies.
time. Oh,
Because I think that the movies themselves actually care about the relationship, and it's central to the story, and like has
Yeah,
real stakes for both for this one and for
Yeah.
literally all of these. The relationship is kind of the most high stakes thing for Peter, and I don't feel like that's true of the Garfield ones as much, and I definitely don't feel like it's true for the Tom Holland ones.
But I also wonder that, like, if part of that is because, like, he straight up does treat MJ, like, especially in the very first movie, like, she does need to be protected. Like, she, you know, because
she's
with, like,
for
Andrew
sure a
Garfield, I feel
damsel.
like, Gwen Stacy like can kind of stand her own and like help him out. So I don't know that it's like as necessary, like, oh, I need to like leave her in order to protect her. Whereas in this one, I feel like it's very clear to him, like in his mind, that like I have to leave her to protect her. I don't know.
I think it's more because these movies care about the interiority of their characters more than they care about setting up a franchise. I think that's why the relationship in the Raimi movies is the best. And it's also why I think that Tobey Maguire is hands down the best Spider-Man. It's not close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
now that I'm...
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Alexis.
Now that I'm older, though, like, I respect MJ so more because I'm all, this girl's following her dreams. She's fucking working as a waitress, you know, like, just in general, I'm like, you're trying to fucking make it in New York, and I fucking respect that, you know?
And Peter
like, now
respects
that I'm an adult, I'm like, I can respect where you're coming from.
Peter respects it, and Harry doesn't, because Harry doesn't get it, and Peter's a working man.
Fuck Harry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I was going to say, back when I was really into the MCU while they were coming out, I mean, they're still coming out, but back when I feel
like you and I
pre-Endgame, basically.
Yeah, like the MCU up to Endgame followed a good trajectory for me because they started coming out when I was 10 and they stopped coming out in my mind when I was 20. And
But yeah, during that phase of my moviedom, I was pretty on the Tom Holland train of like, I think he's a good Peter Parker. I think he's a good Spider-Man. Movies aren't great, but I like him as a character. Rewatching this, I really do think Tobey Maguire, he takes the cake. Because again, what's so great about this is he's dorky.
And he's struggling.
And he is struggling, and I buy that. I buy him being unsure of himself. Like when Aunt May is like, "You're just so mysterious all the time." It's true. Like he's just like, he's so shy. He's so in his shell, and that is so important for that guy, that human being, to become a superhero.
Yeah.
Someone that is so...
It's why Spider-Man functioned as good wish fulfillment for nerds in the 60s.
Which is why I say the worst Spider-Man, or let me say, the worst Peter Parker
Andrew Garfield.
is Andrew Garfield.
He's too cool.
He's too attractive.
His
hair is gorgeous. He's gorgeous.
Yeah.
He's charming. It's like...
I want to give him a smooch too much.
As a teenager when those movies came out, though, as a young lass,
I want to be in his web.
I loved Andrew Garfield. Okay, I was so on that boat because like it was like by Panic. It was like The Mummy all over again because I was like Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Holy shit, what's happening? She's blonde. Oh my god, she's wearing knee highs. Oh my god, like it was everything. So.
Right.
I can't be on that train with you, Mick.
It's too bad because it doesn't quite work. The Andrew Garfield ones. It has some of my favorite Spider-Man scores in it. Believe it or not, I love the theme from that film.
Can't think of what it is.
I do too, actually.
It's good.
All right.
Sorry.
I mean, Danny Elfman did do a Mission Impossible score as well.
He did.
Yeah. No, it's there. No one's come close to touching Danny Elfman's score. It's unassailable.
Yeah.
I like the one that Giacchino did for Tom Holland too. Not gonna lie.
I can't remotely think of what that sounds like.
Giacchino's pretty great.
I love Giacchino, but I think that Giacchino's best superhero score is by far and away the Batman.
Did Giacchino do fucking...
I love his score.
Giacchino's done
for
like
Batman.
a bunch of Pixar, right?
Yeah, he did the
My
Incredibles,
favorite superhero one is The Incredibles.
Oh my god, I didn't
so
even think
good.
of it. Yeah,
but he did
That's
Up.
the best one.
Didn't he do Up?
Yes.
I think The Incredibles...
That shit, even just listening to that shit makes me cry.
The Incredibles score is like low-key maybe my favorite score
It's one of the
the
best
21st
soundtracks
century.
of all time. It's so good. Honestly, you listen to that, you're like, give that man Mission Impossible. And they did.
And he did.
And it's fantastic.
Very good job with it. They gave it to him twice.
They did. So nice. They gave it to him twice. But no, Tobey Maguire is the best Peter Parker. Tom Holland second, Andrew Garfield third.
That's how I would sit with it as well. Actually, I would put Jake Johnson ahead of
Is
Tom
that an
Holland.
animated one?
Yes. That's Into the Spider-Verse Across the Spider-Verse.
Right.
I think I'm just gonna sit this out because
Why?
take into account because it's you know I'm biased, you know.
Well, we're all biased.
I'm skewed by what my eyes see, and what my eyes see is Andrew Garfield. It's like the Animaniacs with like the heart eyes,
Right.
like blowing out of their
Are they
faces.
shooting out of your head?
So okay,
Yeah,
wait,
that's
okay.
it. That's
Hold on.
me.
Let's pretend we're not recording right now. What would your ranking be?
Yeah.
What would my ranking be? Okay, just specifically the fucking actors. I could give less of a shit about Tom Holland. No offense, I think he's a very sweet boy, but like I could give less of a shit about any of his movies. Really, it would be Andrew Garfield because I like to look at him, and then Tobey Maguire because I genuinely think he's like a really good fucking Spider-Man, and then Tom Holland because I don't give a shit about him.
You know what, Alexis? I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect it.
I appreciate your candor.
It's like Andrew Garfield because
You know,
he's hot, Tobey Maguire because he's a good actor and he's good for the part, and then Tom Holland because he's last. Like that's my logic, and I respect it.
I mean, I do. If we were going to like just talk about them as actors,
Tobey Maguire's best.
yeah, maybe.
Come on.
But it would be Andrew Garfield would definitely jump up over Tom Holland for me.
No, that's the thing. Andrew Garfield's a great actor. Like it's not against his acting.
Yeah,
And
he's not right for the part.
When Spider-Man is being all quippy and kind of sarcastic,
He comes off like a smug asshole, and I don't like it.
He's smug and he's an asshole, but maybe it's just that they give him more to do, but he's quippy in that. I think it works.
No, he seems like a prick. I don't like it.
Who hurt you?
Maybe
Who hurt you,
you know
Zach?
what?
He's a menace.
Who hurt you? Maybe that's my type. Maybe I just like pretty smug assholes.
That's
Pretty
not
smug asshole.
Spider-Man.
That's sounds right.
That sounds like Tony Stark to me.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
You know who it doesn't sound like? Spider-Man.
All right, guys, it's been a minute. I think we should probably think about, wrapping this web up.
Okay.
Should we? How long has it been?
It's been, there's some
a lot
stuff
of
that's
it-
going to be cut,
yeah.
but we still have been going for a long time.
But one thing we should talk about, though, is really quickly,
is continue to talk about the filmmaking and the sweeping shot around Peter
Yes.
as he first climbs the wall.
I was gonna
coming
mention-
from up above him to underneath.
Why are we
that
talking
really
about
sells
this?
those powers?
Why are we talking about this during Blockbuster Month? Like, we should talk a little bit about why
There's
this is a great
explosions.
blockbuster film.
This at the time was not the highest grossing movie of all time, but it was the highest grossing opening weekend of all time. It surpassed
When it hit?
it surpassed Titanic.
So it must have had a really good marketing campaign.
Yeah, take the ultimate spin, man.
Interesting.
That's so the marketing campaign for this movie, if you look at it, is like so fucking 2000s.
I bet.
There was a like very 2000s soundtrack for this movie.
Yeah.
Like the font in all the advertising
Super
was like
2000s.
the PlayStation
Has
2
not
font.
aged well.
But I think that's so interesting that like, and I'm gonna credit Blank Check Podcast a little bit for talking about this because they did a Raimi series and also they're old, so they were aware of this when it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think that it's so interesting that like all of the like marketing for this movie was like, no, kids, you don't understand. This is sick. This is topical and this is of the moment. This is going to be the most 2000s current thing you've ever seen. And then you watch this movie.
And it's timeless.
And yeah, it like
Except for that one parade scene.
God, I don't, Macy Gray.
That's not great.
I have no clue who that is.
Oh, you don't know who Macy Gray is?
Alexis, I was born in 1998. I have no clue who Macy Gray is.
I was born only a few years earlier.
You were born in
1985?
You're 94, right?
You know what? I'm going to pretend like you didn't just fucking insult the shit out of me.
You're
That's fine, Zach.
1986,
That's
right?
fine.
Me? With my interests?
Yeah, that's about there.
Probably closer to the 50s.
It's about there. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like Mick's like from 1955
No, for
out
real.
here.
I get that. I am completely with you. I have such weird taste in things.
The music that you play while you're in the shower, you're like you were born in like 1962 or something.
No, for real. Like, honestly, I would have loved it.
Oh, my God.
I would have loved it.
Yeah. Also, it's politics, 1955.
45. 45.
Uh-oh.
You kidding?
What did you name your fish, Mick? So,
Blockbuster.
this was a massive blockbuster. It had a highly successful marketing campaign. All kinds of merchandising, toy tie-ins.
It's a big film.
Yeah.
It's an event film.
Much like Independence Day, it's a movie that I love that I think maybe had an overall negative impact on the American cinema landscape.
Right.
Because now every movie is a superhero movie.
Right.
And few of them are made. In fact, I would say recently, none of them have been made with the same kind of love, care, and genuine passion as this movie was.
Guess it's just kind of inevitable, though, like in a capitalist, like driven society, something that's so marketable with all this like corporate like things you can buy, it's guaranteed because it's like you already know that there's such a clear fucking market.
There's an
for
inherent proof
comics.
of concept.
There's a fan base already built in there.
I guess that's the thing, is that for a long time, American blockbusters were like, okay, people like action movies and they like this star.
Right.
We're going to make, this kind of action movie that's popular right now, whether it's sci-fi or a Western or something, with this star. And this movie kind of started the trend of, people like this thing, this intellectual property.
Right.
Let's make that again. And I think it's...
let's try to emulate it. And so often they learn the wrong lessons.
Yeah.
From the success of these stories.
Like, I don't think that it's impossible to make a creatively honest, humanist superhero film that has a true artistic vision
Look at Matt
behind
Reeves,
it.
the Batman.
Yeah, the Batman, obviously the Nolan Batman films, most Batman movies, to be honest.
Yeah, Tim Burton.
But that's kind of more like the Bond movies than superhero movies. But, it's not impossible to make that.
Right.
But I think that so many superhero films now are just about a brand and an intellectual property, and I think it's sad that came from a place that started in such a sincere way.
You have to remember that they were not expecting to blow open Pandora's box.
They never do.
When they made Iron Man.
Yeah,
they didn't. That was just going to be another crack at the superhero thing, and that's also a movie that's kind of genuine and has heart. But
it was a genuinely risky movie when that was made. But we're not talking about.
We're not talking about that. But it's like, a blockbuster. Actually, every blockbuster that we're going to talk about, have talked about, or will talk about, except for our last one, kind of just gets the fucking ball rolling on a type of genre or a type of movie that planted a flag in the ground where you can trace it back and be like, here we go. Here's where the avalanche started.
Alexis, I really do think you hit the nail on the head early in this episode when you said this is where it all started. Yeah. Like, not only were you right personally, but like for the American...
No, I meant it in multiple ways. Yeah. Because like it started all this fucking franchise shit, and it started this whole shit for me in my personal life.
That's a very insightful comment. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
But
it literally went like there was two notes: Danny Elfman, and then this is what started it all.
Yeah, for real. It's definitely a blockbuster, and something else that I think it doesn't have to do this to be a blockbuster, but it certainly helps. Has to be arguably endlessly rewatchable.
And this movie is.
And it absolutely is.
I agree with this way over Independence Day.
This is...
For me personally.
For me, you want to know what two movies are in the big box of VHS tapes that I brought down from Eugene that have been in my household since I was a wee lad? Both Independence Day and Spider-Man are in that box.
Oh my god.
This is such a joyful month for me because it's like I'm getting a second month all of my own because all of the films we are talking about are so near and dear to my heart.
That's the same for me.
Oh, like The Little Mermaid?
Right.
We don't need to talk about that.
Don't acknowledge. Don't acknowledge.
Listen.
Don't acknowledge.
I can't do it.
Under the sea.
So
Also, this is our first fucking comic book movie.
And it's our first Sam Raimi movie.
And our first Sam Raimi movie.
Fucking will not be our
And it will
last.
not be our last.
That's impressive,
Yeah.
considering how much both of you like Sam Raimi, especially you, Zach.
I was so patient. Sam Raimi is one of the...
You've been such a good boy.
He's one of the... Thank you. He's one of...
Suddenly sour in here.
He's one of the few directors who I have seen his entire filmography.
So it's like me, but with Baz Luhrmann.
I just really love this movie. I love that he has his friend Bruce Campbell.
That's right. Bruce Campbell's
Bruce
in this.
Campbell gives Spider-Man his name.
Yeah.
That's so
I'm Man
sweet.
Spider.
He, the car that
He's
Uncle
all, "That's
Ben
fucking stupid."
drives.
The
That's
human
right.
spider.
That's right. The fucking Oldsmobile Cutlass.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That is Sam Raimi's car from when he was growing up. It's in all of his movies.
If you watch Evil Dead, you'll recognize it.
And if you ask Bruce Campbell, that's the car Sam Raimi lost his virginity in.
Goddamn right. Put your actors in there.
So
Wow.
ultimately,
This was important for us.
I'm so glad we talked about this movie. Alexis, I feel like
Me
this
too.
is one of the biggest you and I have vibed on this same
Yeah.
movie for our whole lives. Because
Yeah.
this movie fucks, it rules, and it's not
It does.
it's not even the best one in the series.
That's what blows my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that this
What's
is the,
crazy is that Raimi went on to make a better one.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But
Yeah.
this was great. I love watching it for the first time since I was a small child. I can't wait to watch the second one now.
Mick, have your views on Spider-Man
Yeah.
softened?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
We're breaking him down. We're breaking him down, baby.
I think the older I
It was
get,
always inevitable.
yeah, the older I get, the less fascist I become. And I'm
We
like,
love that.
You know what?
That's the opposite
we
of
love that on the film Majors.
that's
We
the
do.
opposite of most white American men.
That's right.
Yes, exactly. Especially
top,
ones
buddy.
born in 1955.
Yep.
So, any other parting thoughts?
Sam, buddy, you knocked it out of the park. You're one of my heroes,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll see you again sooner rather than later.
I'm going to see him in 3 months.
Probably.
No, actually, I might actually see him.
What?
Yeah,
What?
you should go with me.
Okay, let's wrap this up. We'll talk after the episode.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was good. Alexis, I've already said my parting thought. You take it.
Yeah, I said it all. This movie started it all, and I'm really glad we got to cover it. And I'm glad that this was just like, oh my god, Zach, me and you are bonding.
Hell yeah.
moment for
I
us.
really enjoyed you guys your bondage.
Me too.
Me too.
Voyeuristically, that was great.
Thwip, motherfucker.
Yes.
Exactly.
Mick, what are we talking about next?
So, speaking of films that just mean so much to you,
Are we going forward in the decades, Mick?
ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, we are going back
Oh my gosh, the 1980s?
to the future.
Is it Back to the Future?
Yes, folks.
Really?
Our next film
Fuck yeah.
is 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark,
It's not Back to the Future.
directed by Steven Spielberg.
Fuck yeah.
That's right, folks.
okay.
We're going to go back to perhaps it's one of the best blockbusters of all time.
It's one
I
of
think
my
I fell asleep last time I watched this.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Don't engage.
Alexis,
It's so good.
I'll be interested. Much as I was interested to hear Mick's thoughts on Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I'm most interested to hear
agree
your
with
thoughts
that.
on Raiders.
I'm very curious
Yeah,
to hear
because
your
I did
thoughts.
not grow up watching this.
yeah, and
so-
Mick and I watch this movie all the time.
I watched it a week ago.
Yeah,
Just because.
I watched it too. I watched it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's out of all of the movies that we're covering this month, Raiders of the Lost Ark, that was renamed Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark, is something that I watch the most, in constant rotation. So you can find that on Disney Plus.
It stars Harrison Ford and Karen Allen,
Goddamn right. So
who's
yeah,
also very good in John Carpenter's Starman. Just thought I'd throw that out
I
there.
haven't seen that.
Good movie.
Nice.
Yeah, well, if you want to find us, the Film Majors,
Yeah.
on social media, you can find us at Film Majors Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and you can now find us on Threads, an Instagram app, because fuck Elon Musk. Fuck Mark Zuckerberg,
fuck that
evil
guy.
man, but somehow I find Elon Musk more annoying, and I want to see him
Reprehensible.
fail. So yeah, you can find us on all those apps at Film Wagers Pod. And if you want to shoot us an email, tell us your thoughts about who the best Spider-Man is, you can shoot us an email at filmwagerspod@gmail.com. And, leave us a rating, subscribe to our us on Spotify or whatever podcast app you are listening to us on.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
We'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.